Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again. It is the new Millennium Falcons podcast, and we have a full house today. Almost full house. I'm sorry,
Almost,
we're missing
yeah.
Hunter. Um, it's okay. It's okay. Things happen, like moves and stuff, but it's all right. It's all right. We got an insane number of hosts today. Down on the bottom, I got my boy Fleek at Ron Rico
Yeah,
Season on Twitter. How you doing, my boy?
I'm good, man. Happy to be back. Best day of the week. Getting to talk ball with y'all boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited.
No doubt, no doubt. And then to my right, I got that boy Trey Sean Diaz. What's happening, my boy?
Hey, nothing much. Happy to be back. Happy to be a part of the show again. I know it's going to be a good day. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this roster.
We missed you, man. We missed you, and we
Sure.
love to have you back anytime, my boy. This is definitely your pod. You know it. Speaking of this is your pod, we got that man, the production manager on the bottom right. That boy Damski. How you feeling, my boy?
Good man. I'm really excited. Finally got some time in my schedule to come kick it with the main dogs here and talk some Falcons football that like we all love to do.
I just realized Adam's our OVO, isn't he?
Yes,
Yes, he is.
a hundred
Most
percent,
He's our
definitely.
Canadian
Straight out of
producer.
Canada.
a hundred
Yeah, I
percent. He
swear.
is.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
too good. That's too good.
That's fantastic, man. But
Sixth God, baby. No, I'm just joking.
no,
That's
you
right.
weren't. No, you
That's
weren't.
right.
You felt every bit of that. That's.
hmm
I'm happy for you.
That was in his soul.
That was in
I'm
his
joking.
soul for real.
I heard a rumor that they're going to WNBA is trying to come to Toronto and I heard they're going to call it the Toronto Six, so that'd be fun.
Oh,
Oh, that would be hard.
that'd be
Yeah,
sick. I might
yeah, I
have to
might
be a
have to catch a
fan
couple.
if they catch the OVO colors for the colorway for the jerseys. I might have to cop one. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
Yeah, Drake's got that city on lockdown, man. It's just so crazy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's not. You mean that's not Justin Bieber's place anymore?
Nah, bro, you can't even touch foot in that
No, no,
place,
no.
dog.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
no.
good, Fleek.
Not even close.
Wow, wow. This man said Justin freaking Bieber. That's insane.
J
All
Beebs,
right.
No, this is not
Chill
what
on,
we're
chill
doing.
on the beeps. Chill on the beeps.
Beebs.
Whoa, whoa. Check who we got in
Yeah.
here.
What's going on, bro?
Oh,
My guy, how are you today?
My guys, hold on.
Oh, people,
and
people,
pound for
what's up,
pound.
man?
Oh, we
Oh,
got a
Yeah,
stack. Hey, bro, we stacking up
let's
in the
do it.
chat, my boy.
I'm
This
talking
gonna be a
about
good day.
chat full of goats.
We got a chat full of
This gonna
goats
be a good
today.
conversation.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Cause when you see the title, you already know it's gonna be nasty. It's depth
hmm
chart review. We're looking at the offensive skills positions. Hey, we got to give shout outs to the producing manager for this one. Um, go ahead and tell us what your thought process was going into whatever the depth chart review is.
I mean, I'm just kind of going through like my own thought process, the way I go through it this summer, because it's kind of like the dead period. So two things I do is I study usually NFL defenses, like schematics, what's going on, what's happening, like what's fun around the league, like the new Fangio stuff, who's Staley and all those guys. And then I like just kind of like look at guys that I want. I just want to get a better feel for the Falcons in general and just see where these guys could fit potentially in like a new scheme now and like how Bijan's going to fit and what's the best case scenario for his fit, Tyler Algier, and just kind of go through, see maybe where we can have a tweak, kind of because like I think on the surface level the team looks good on paper, but just see if there's one or two more moves, or maybe one or two cuts or trades or something like that could just maybe kind of up the win totals for the season. So yeah, I think just I'm trying to like put my process of how I do the off season on everybody, and I feel like it's a fun experiment because I like studying film. I know you guys like studying film. So that way we can all do it together, kind of thing, and we can all just check out and see what's going on. And we all kind of share our clips and do a good job of sharing and explaining what we like and what we see. So I just think doing it in that sense, it's a little bit better, man, because we need more good Falcons podcasts.
I don't
Talking
know.
about actual
Right
football
about
shit.
that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
One thing people
Yeah.
are saying is that there's not enough Falcons content out there.
Is that what they're saying?
I don't know, man. I
That's-
mean, when
People
you
are like,
have
there's not enough
know.
content creators. You need more.
guys like this coming into
Yeah.
the chat, and you know what I'm saying, this type of content
Eating
at the bottom,
candy.
you know what I'm saying. I mean, this is premium
mean-
Falcons content right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
enough chit chat, man. Let's get into it. Let's get to the nitty gritty of what we're
Let's
actually
get
trying to
active,
get
eh?
into, man. First things first, man. What we got to start with the quarterback position, right? Because that's what everybody wants to talk about when we talk about offensive skills. So, yeah, I mean, we got to, bro. You know, usually, I'm sorry,
I
usually
didn't know we were talking QB. Let's do it.
Yeah.
got to. So you look at the QB position just here on the Falcons. There's 3 quarterbacks on here. Obviously, the one we want to talk about is Logan Woodside, right?
Of course.
Right.
There's 4 quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry. A 4th quarterback came in through the draft. So
Then I guess there's 5 technically.
So then, how many? Hold on. How many do we have? Hold on.
Felipe
a second, 'cause
Franks.
No.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I thought he was a
Logan
tight end.
Woodside.
We're
I
not
thought he was
talking
a tight
about
end.
He counts.
We're not talking-
he
we're not talking
took
about
snaps at it last year.
I thought he was a tight end. I thought we were.
He's emergency QB3. That's what
Oh
he
my
is on
God.
the
Crazy.
game day roster. That's the
That's
reality.
crazy. That's crazy.
You know,
Um,
go
If
ahead.
you see him back there, I mean, like, it doesn't matter what's happening.
Bro, I'm telling you, they're
It's
gonna
just never
probably
worked.
for a
If we
Wildcat
ever
look,
see
bro.
that happen back there, it does. You know, I don't think we're ever gonna see that beyond preseason.
I think those like 3 or 4 times that we've seen it in regular season, it just like killed drives. Like I'm pretty sure it went for negative
Every
yards.
single time.
Each
I'm
time. Each time.
Yeah, it's just like,
Sorry, I
and
did
like
not
now
mean
we're
to
at the point.
hijack.
Yeah, we're at the point now where it's just like, if we're seriously fishing the Franks well, when we have Bijan Robinson, like just put Bijan as emergency quarterback.
Fishing the Franks well.
I mean, seriously though,
Dude,
bro.
you've
Like,
already
what's
fished that well.
Fish
there's
that well
no
way
more-
too many times.
There's no more fish in there.
There's none.
It's
Yeah, so I mean, elephant in the room, obviously Desmond Ritter, he's going to kick things off.
Mhm.
And he's going to get sevens. He's going to get all the games. He's going to get like this is his chance to be like, hey man, I'm the guy. So I think he did show flashes last year. He got better. It's funny when people say to me the Tampa Bay game was his best game because I would argue that the Baltimore game was his best.
100%.
Because I think you get the full scale of like an actual defense. You get all the starters in there. You've seen the highs and lows. He started out slow, and then he came back and he showed that same fiery passion against the starters of the Ravens, right? So I think if you want to see the best version of Rid, I think you look at the Baltimore game and be like, hey man, this is why I think he can be the guy. And that's less like we were talking about it today in the spaces. Like I haven't even seen him with Kyle Pitts. And if he's gonna spam button Drake London, then we're gonna keep spam button like our heavy guys. I much rather that kind of quarterback than be like, hey man, Parker Hesse's in the flats. Let's just check it down to him. Like, you know what I mean? At least
Yeah.
and the one thing I'll just say about Ritter that I love is that when he sees like a one-on-one matchup or some kind of favorable matchup, like he'll exploit it almost to a fault, right? And I think that's good when you have guys like Drake, guys like Kyle, guys like Bijan. When you have those guys that are like outliers to the position and that are big athletic freaks. Um, if we were trying to do that with just like Mac Hollins, yeah, like I could see that being a problem. But when you have like jump ball guys and you have really athletic freaks, that stuff can look really good because you're being like, hey man, I don't really give a shit what the coverage is. We're gonna use our guys like how we should be using our guys.
And I mean, that's what he used. That's what he did at Cincinnati. I mean, he had dudes like Alec Pierce on the outside. He had dudes like what's the tight end, Leonard Hamilton or something like that up the seams that could win those that could win those seam balls, or that can win those one-on-one matchups. And so that's what he's used to, is being able to say, you know what, my athlete is better than your athlete. I can just put the ball up and they'll go and get it. And I feel like Arthur kind of is fostering that type of environment again here in Atlanta, because he spent those two picks back to back, those first round picks back to back on Pitts in London, to say, listen, my guy is better than your guy, and I have a quarterback that can get them the football. And another thing that I've noticed is the fact that, and we'll get more into this later on when we talk about more of the skills positions, is the fact that somebody's going to have to get lined up on a linebacker eventually. And all three of these guys, whether that's London, Pitts, or Bijan, or CP, they can all beat a linebacker one-on-one. So it's about, I think they're going to be able to really take advantage of these one-on-one matchups, like you said, Damsky.
Yeah, it's about matchups, but that's the reason why I think Ritter will kind of thrive. I think I heard you say something about this earlier, Damsky. Like, even if the best thing that Ritter could be is a really good point guard, when you have weapons like this to help you out, that might do you just fine in the NFC South, you know? And I think if Arthur Smith helps Ritter out with the quick passing game this year, which I think he will, I think you'll see a lot of slants, a lot of screens, a lot of I'm hoping we see Bijan running a lot of Texas routes, a lot of spider routes. I want to see Bijan running everything. And, you know, I want Ritter to just be able to get the playmakers the ball, because we have guys that are yak demons as well. Like Drake coming out of college, yak guy. Bijan, contact balance, running through guys' face. Like, I'm talking about, you have we all know what Kyle Pitts has the potential to be. Like, you have the weapons. You just have to be able to get him the ball. And I think Ritter is capable of doing that. He has stuff that he has to clean up. Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith trust that he will. They've said that multiple times, so I trust that he will. So, but I think, you know, he'll do good if he doesn't try to overplay his hand.
Got you. Treyway, what you got?
Yeah, I think I don't think there's really anything left for me to say about Ritter at this point. Like, Ritter is what he is at this point, and it's a guy who needs to show us all more film. I think there's an argument for the people who believe that it's not going to work out, just as equally strong for the people who believe it is going to work out. In terms of me honestly, it feels like a guess to me to say I think he's going to do this or the other, because, you know, it's a quarterback, and like, it's so hard to nail the quarterback in this league. I think that they've set things up really well. So, you know, I don't think that there's really any kind of infrastructure problems for him going into this season, which is what we'll get to talk about more today. And then I think in regards to the rest of the QB room, you know, when we look at Taylor Heineke as the backup, this was probably one of the only signings I had a smidge of an issue with. And it's not because of the player. He's like great, I think, especially for his role. It's just the fact that he's getting 2 times as much guaranteed money as Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and he's those guys or lesser, you know, as a player. So it is something where I do keep in mind. I'm like, well, if he is getting that bit of extra money, definitely makes you feel like the team wanted to have, you know, their preferred insurance option, if you know what I mean. Like, they probably pretty easily could have ended up with any of those 3 guys I just named and got them for that half price, but they wanted Heineke specifically. So, you know, I do find that interesting. I think he brings a couple of good things to the QB room. I think he's a good guy to have for Ritter there, one, as a motivator, because it's like, hey, you don't want to be like me. You want to stick it here. You want this to be your franchise and take this over. Like, you know, so like, I'm here to like push you and motivate you, because if you don't, I'm going to try and take it from you, because that's what he's done everywhere he's gone.
Right.
So I like having a hungry vet like that who has knocked a couple of guys off before and has taken some spots and taken over for a good chunk of games. So I think it's a solid QB room. I think it's going to be really funny to see if we see Felipe Franks again in preseason. Logan Woodside and him are going to maybe battle it out for a practice squad spot or something at some point. I think when we talk about some of the other position groups, it'll be interesting to see how the numbers fall on who they keep, or if they try to shift guys around, because we saw them, you know, move guys up and down a lot last year. and some kind of situational games to do some different things offensively. Will they be able to get away with that this year? Are they going to try to be more versatile? That's what I'm excited to get into about today.
And so before we move on from the quarterbacks, obviously we have to talk about our cornerback connoisseur.
You're damn
But
right. You're damn right.
real quick, one last thing. What about this guy Chase Bryce? What are we thinking about new guy that's on the block? What is it? Our boy Jack's favorite quarterback right now on the roster.
Right. Oh, hey man, he
I don't
threw
know
the
enough
ball in
about him.
college. That's all.
Was he the one that threw?
That's all I got.
Did Bijan? Was he the one that threw the ball to Bijan on that out that Bijan ran?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good ball. I thought high and outside. That's where you want it. Hey, that's some good film
Defender
right
can't
there.
get to it.
Yeah.
That's where you want it. That's where you want it, right? So yeah, I think you know what I mean. If we could keep doing that, you can make a career out of that.
Yeah, bright future. Seriously.
Yeah. That is
it's actually so funny because JR gets on me for the OCA hype shit. I fall for it every time. I just love the process, going through the process. But though it was the end of Matt Ryan's career, and I said he underthrew a fade ball, like that ball, and JR lost it on me. He did not like it. But my guy JR, man, he's gonna I love JR, man. That's my main guy. But hey, you know me, I'm just up here pushing buttons on people who I can. But I'll say this, JR's more vetted now. He knows not to fall for my shenanigans anymore.
Listen, that those last couple years where his arm got cooked, man, I was trying. Okay. I was trying hard, bro. I was trying hard not to be a victim or too much of a fan, but I was like, man, not like this.
Yeah. I'll say about Heineke, like if we're ever in a situation where we need like a quarterback for 4 games, there's no other quarterback I'd want. Like he just comes out and slings that shit. That's all he cares. He doesn't care. He just comes out, slings it. Whatever happens, he throws 500 yards and puts up 40 points and loses. He don't care, man. He just comes out and slings that shit. Like that's the one thing I love about him. And if we ever need him for like a flex of like 4 games, anything after 4 games though, he turns into Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know what I mean? You don't want to give him too much. You just gotta give him enough.
Yeah. Tenacious guy, man.
Yeah.
100%. But we're actually going to lean into the going to stay in the backfield a little bit, and we're going to go into the running backs now. It's very much. I still remember in 2021 when we didn't have a run game with Matt Ryan, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is gross. Matt Ryan has zero help," and now we have too much. Like we have too many carries to give out.
Is that the Mike Davis experience you're speaking about?
Oh my God. Insane. But now we're looking at it here. We have oh man, our lads has Bijan already up at the top. That's crazy.
As he should be, right?
That's crazy. With Tyler Algier.
They got Avery Williams behind torn Achilles, Caleb Huntley.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Doing my guy dirty.
Man. They said, Avery Williams, you are a kick returner, and that is it, Buckaroo. Good God.
That's a full house.
That's a full house.
There's a lot to like there. Like I think there's so many flavors in that room, and I think it's really fun to like. Obviously, Bijan, I said earlier, he's got to maintain anywhere between 20 and 25 touches every game in. There's like literally no excuse for it. He's just dynamic, man. Just get your guy. I'll say it, and people can call me crazy, but I think he's our most dynamic offensive weapon. I think he just presents so many problems in the run game, and just equally as much in the pass game. So I just think those guys you kind of got to spam until it's not working, and then hit other guys. kind of deal. And I'm really hoping that's kind of where we're at. Algier, I think he's going to be. I think he's obviously going to maintain. Like he's going to be that tough runner for us. He's going to close out. He's going to close out games, close out halves. When it's those like good big 13, 14 play drives, and Bijan needs a breather because he's just smoked a 70-yard touchdown run. Like you know what I mean. Like Algier is going to give a significant running back play out there. So. Yeah, like between those two, it should look real fun. It should look really fun. If you guys remember D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart back in the day, they were just running amok
Mm.
on everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll even throw was it Willie Parker and Rashard Mendenhall back in the day. If
Oh
you guys
yeah, they
remember
did.
those guys, like that, I
Yeah.
think it's going to be up. I think we'll be talking about those two as being a dynamic duo. I question. I don't want to say it. I question if Cordero Patterson will be here because you can save some money by cutting him, and you just look at it like where's he getting his touches? Is he getting his touches as a receiver? Because he really slowed down as a running back, right? I just want to put it out there because it could be a possibility. Because Bijan can do everything plus more than he can, and Avery Williams can more than well fill out him on kick returns as well. So I just wonder if that's a conversation to be had there. If we're like, hey man, like you want to take a little bit less money because we might do this with you. So I love CP, but I question his role going forward in this year because his age combined with the fact that he slowed down last year. I'll say Caleb Huntley. I know he's my guy too, but that Achilles injury is almost like a death sentence for running backs. It's just really hard to come back from. Um, and I just question whether Caleb's going to be able to have that same explosiveness when he comes back. And yeah, Avery Williams is a good special teams guy. Plus, he gives you the gimmicky stuff. So um, hopefully, we don't have to reach too far into the tool belt because we already have guys with Bijan and Tyler there.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt. Actually gonna go to Treyway real quick. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I think like I said, it's a full room. I've kind of been feeling like all along there's one of the running backs from last season's not gonna be back this year. I said earlier in the chat we were talking about this. If Caleb Huntley's Achilles isn't torn, CP, gone. Like without question, I think. Like I don't think there would be no reason for him to be here, as messed up as that sounds at that point, because you have everything and more in Bijan. Algier Algier showed last year that he can be a 3-down running back. So you have a 3-down running back at RB2. You have Avery Williams for the gadgety plays, and to do Avery Williams is going to be has all pro level ability as a punt returner. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a really good returner in this league. I think he's going to be even better this year. And I'd be interested to see if him and CP don't start sharing kickoff duties. One, because CP is getting old, and just to spell him a little bit so he's not using up all of his energy out there. Because, like Adam said, if he's losing a step like we think he is, the only reason he was kind of able to succeed as a receiver with a very limited route tree was because of that explosiveness and because a little bit of that speed. And he had like just enough to succeed at doing that. And I don't know if 2 years from that 2021 season, if he's going to be able to produce like that outside and inside. I kind of was hoping he was able to, but just kind of looking at the film, you just don't really know how it's going to go. But Bijan's awesome. That's going to be really fun to watch. I don't think there's going to be any question about if he's the guy or anything like that. I think there could be. So, I hope Arthur Smith went to culinary school this offseason, because that man is going to have to know how to cook. That's what it's ultimately going to come down to. And like Adam said, Bijan needs to get his touches. So like 20, 25 a game, 15 rushes, 5 to 10 targets, whatever it is. We got to get those numbers somehow. We still need Algier to get his numbers effectively too. So Art, I really hope that he's focusing on all that, and I'm sure he is. He obviously is, but we really need him to come out the gates and like show us like, hey, we took a running back at 8 because we knew exactly, like we were building for this. We were waiting for this. We knew we wanted Bijan for months. This is the move. And they just go crazy because if Bijan has something like 10 to 15 touches his first game, people are going to lose it. And even if it happens in the first game, that might just, it's first game, but you just know how people are going to react. And suddenly it's going to be like, why'd you take him at 8 if he's barely going to touch the ball? So,
right.
Yeah.
gotta
Fleet.
let that man.
Would that frustrate you guys?
Kyle Pitts things. Yeah, that would frustrate.
Oh, it'd be
That would
insane.
frustrate. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
Like if we
I'd be
did like
I'd be like, why did we do this, man? Like,
for me, like last year, it was Kyle Pitts, and it was like every argument was like, oh, I'm not here to do fantasy football, da. But like that shit's okay if you're winning games. You know what I mean? When you're a 500 team, you can't be like you got a guy that could be a difference
Turn it
maker.
up.
Like let's do some things here. And I think that's my biggest thing is like if you have three, I'm gonna say, guys, I think Drake London's a really good. I think he could really be that alpha X receiver. If you got
I
three
agree.
aliens on your squad and you're struggling to put up points, that's beyond the players. That's
Yeah.
that's coaching at that point. And
Yeah.
if you're just spamming this run game and you can't get them in the passing concepts, and Bijan's struggling to get the ball in the passing game, that's a real problem because it's real simple. Running back routes are angle routes, flat routes, get them in space. It's really not that hard to get a running back a ball in space. It's really not. Um, just make it fucking happen. Stop with the catchphrase shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry with the language. I don't even know if we're supposed to be swearing here, but it's frustrating because
Sorry,
people were like,
Christine.
"Oh,
Our channel.
you're overreacting. You're overreacting." Like Kyle Pitts is doing fine. There's more to football than catching football. Like, yeah, we just lost this game by 20 points, and I'm worried about Kyle Pitts. You know what I mean? Catching
And
the
I tell
ball.
you
Like
what, bro, what did they take him that high to do? I get
the
it. I
block.
get
Like,
it.
we might as well just re-sign Lee Smith. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds. I think somebody said, y'all are mad that the Falcons drafted a tight end to play tight end, but it's like, no. You don't
No.
understand, pal. Buddy, you don't understand. We drafted this guy over Jamar Chase. We drafted him in a year where there was an elite wide receiver on the board, and Julio was done data up out of here. Ridley was up in the air. So we drafted Pitts to obviously be a guy in the passing game.
Yeah.
And
No,
we
let's
have
not
yet to use him.
forget the marketing on Kyle Pitts in his draft. Like,
He
come
was
on.
a tight end.
This was
by
generational
name,
football
by name
player.
only.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
this was, people said this is a once in a lifetime prospect. This is an athlete that is not going to come around again. This is a blend of size, speed, and athleticism that we haven't seen in years. This is a guy who could be better than Gronkowski. Like, that is what he was profiled as.
And you want to know what all that has in common? The pass catching aspect of it. All of that has to do with the pass catching aspect that he brings to it. We all know that he can block. He's a tight end. That's what differentiates a tight end from a wide receiver. The fact of the matter is, you can talk about fantasy football or not want to do fantasy football all you want. When you're not using your weapons and it's not working, that's when things start looking. That's when people start questioning you, because there's no reason why you should have this type of talent. We've gone offensive skill position in the first round 3 years in a row.
All 3 years of this regime.
And the weird part is, all 3 years we've seen production from the rookie, and it's like, okay, so we see flashes of what they can be. And I think that's why everybody's like, all right, this is the third one. This is your third strike. You've already got 2.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, if Bijan's story turns into Kyle Pitts' story in any shape, form, or fashion,
yeah. I mean, I think that's your job at that point. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I will say,
this crew, he just can't do it.
I will say the only way that it might not work is if we have a quarterback that does what Marcus did and throws 70% of the passes off target to the weapons.
and we
Yeah,
already had a
yeah.
limited pass game as is.
So-
How does that happen?
And I don't think Ritter's gonna do that.
No,
Like,
I think
I don't think
Ritter's
it's
gonna
gonna
look
be
good.
that like that. So, like,
I think
yeah,
Ritter strikes me as a guy that knows his limitations. Like he knows, hey man, I got to get this. He's got to be a timing thrower. He knows he's got to get it on time and in a hurry. So he knows where it's got to be. So I just I think maybe Ritter pushes back on like, oh, this passing concept's got to go to Mac Hollins, where he's just like, no, let me throw it to my favorable matchup. And
Right.
like I said, it's almost to a fault. So maybe he pushes back and be like, "Hey man, I just got to get my skill guys the guy." And I really hope that's
Mm.
who he is.
Lamide's
So
a
we'll
key as
see. That's how it should be because like I know a lot of people would be like, "Oh, no quarterback ever does that." I can fucking sure as shit tell you that happens all the time in
You want
every
to know what's
single football
hilarious?
field.
I'm not comparing anybody to anybody, right? But when you had Calvin Johnson in Detroit, he was the only thing. But you know what? Matthew Stafford had no problem looking his guys way in his time of need. Hey,
Just
buddy,
spam it, baby.
this is for you. I'm throwing it deep. Go get it.
Sometimes you got a guy, you know what I mean. Anyways, we're
Yeah,
going off
Yeah.
target here.
yeah.
What
What's going
the
on?
running back room there, Fleek, my guy.
Yeah,
What's
Fleek.
other
Tell us.
than Bijan on angle routes? What's happening?
Yeah, hey man, Bijan is that guy. We all know that. I feel like I have been talking about Bijan nonstop since we drafted Bijan. So I'm not even gonna spend too much time talking about him. He's a guy who his contact balance and vision alone is gonna allow him to excel. His elusiveness, his speed. I will say I don't see a lot of people that say this, but I've always felt like this. His long speed sometimes isn't A plus. It's like A
Get him off
minus.
the show. Get him off the show. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. He does, yeah.
Like
Like I feel like his one run where he juked like a 10 guys, and then the 11th guy caught him,
no,
hawked
not
him
that
down.
one.
You know what I mean?
I love that one. I love
But he
that one.
did get caught at the goal line, right? Didn't he? He got caught at the goal line.
He
That's
did.
what I'm
He was
saying.
out at
Like,
the one. He was.
yeah. So I
He's
see what
not
you're
running
saying. Like,
quick.
You're
he
right.
doesn't have Jamar Gibbs speed. He has, you know what I mean, which is fine. It's
Yeah,
Jamar
whatever.
Gibbs.
Right?
but he's
If
Jamar
he,
still
Gibbs.
fast. He's fast.
Jameer Gibbs, sorry. But I mean, I'll take the fact that he juked out 10 other guys on his way to the 1 yard
Absolutely.
line. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. Every time. Every time. Like I love Bijan and everything that he is, right? That's nitpicking if I'm trying to find one flaw. I'm trying to find one thing to say where it's like I'm not giving him all the credit. Because I'm talking about he's my guy this year that I'm interested in the most. Tyler Algier, love the guy. He's a battering ram. That man single-handedly kept us in that last Saints game that Ritter
Mm.
started. That last drive where we almost had a chance to win the game, like people forget, bro. Algier got us off the goal line. We were backed up on like 3rd and 5 or something at the 17 or something, and Algier got it like running. Algier just to me last year he showed that he's truly a dog, and like you said, he could be a 3-down back, but he doesn't have to be now because you have Bijan. So both of these guys are going to be fresh all year, and that's what I would like to see. You know what I'm saying? Bijan has to get those 20 touches, of course. We hope that Arthur Smith uses him correctly in the past game or uniquely in a way. As far as CP, I'm kind of in the same boat as y'all. Like, I would love to keep CP around just for CP's sake. Like, to have him on the team. He's a great person. But we have people that can do everything that he can do and better at this point. So, yeah. Caleb Huntley remains to be seen. Like Damsky said, that Achilles for running backs. I mean, even Cam Akers has not been the same. You know what I'm saying? You look at that. Didn't he tear his Achilles or was that an ACL?
That was
It was Achilles.
an Achilles, yeah.
It was Achilles.
Which he came back from in like 9 months, which was insane, but
Didn't look the same.
didn't look the same. You just never know. Avery Williams, a great returner. Like he's been like I think he's led the league in average return yards per return in the last 2 seasons.
On punt returns, yeah.
On punt returns. So he's a guy that can give you some gadget plays, like you said, if Arthur Smith has that in his bag. I don't know which one of these guys, Huntley or CP or who might not be here, but I can definitely see one of them not be here.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think one last thing, in regards to like Bijan, Algier, and all that, I think a lot of people are like, why would you need, Bijan, Algier could be a 3-down back, things like that. And I don't think this is going to happen to Algier now because of the situation with Bijan, but like I think people also forget like mid-round talent. Like there's a reason it's still mid-round talent at the end of the day. And if you're a running back and you don't have some of those elite explosive traits and other traits like that, and you're taking a beating, your body's going to wear down faster. You look at Phillip Lindsay's of the world, you look at James Robinson, you look at these guys who all were 1,000-yard rookie rushers, and then they just burned out like immediately after that and like haven't been the same as that rookie year. So I think this like should definitely be seen as like something that the team can maintain and like a good thing for like our run game being able to stay healthy and consistent so we can be the Shanahans and everything like that. In terms of like a running back goes down, we've got a guy on the roster who, guess what? He would be a running back 1 on your team, but on our team, it doesn't matter. Like everybody can eat here. So
the real question to the running back room, I'll pose this one to you, Savion. You're doing your fantasy football draft. You got about the 7th pick. Are you taking Bijan Robinson in round 1?
No, I'm not, because he's already going to be taken.
Hey, I'm taking him. I tell all my guys I'm planning on taking him high, so that's it.
Nah, most definitely. Like if Bijan is there, I'm taking him, because quite frankly, if anything less than 25 touches, whether that be 20-5, 10-15, I don't care how it happens, or 15-10, that's what I meant to say. It doesn't matter. As long as he gets his 20 to 25 touches, I feel like we're in.
Game. That'd be fun.
Huh?
I said I would love a 10 and 15 game. Like that's hype. Bijan could do that. He's like, I'm gonna have 15 catches today. Go fuck yourself. Like you
know what I'm saying? Like, listen, like put just I don't care. Spam it to him if that's what you need to do. Like out of your 100 plays, let a quarter of them be or what is it? 50 plays on offense. Let it have to Bijan. And I don't care. Just get him involved in the offense.
I think the fun, if you want to see the funnest version of what Bijan potentially could be, is you see what CMC did with Kyle Shanahan. Because you take a guy that knows how to use running backs both in the pass game and the run game, and then you throw it to a guy that can do both the run game and the pass game, and that's the version of that player that you get, is this absolute freak that can do just everything. I'm really excited for year 2 of CMC and San Fran too. But if Arthur Early can show how to get the ball to Bijan in the pass game, it's going to be beautiful. Like it's going to be like you know what I mean? Like that's what you want it to be.
That's right.
I agree wholeheartedly. Real quick, got to give a couple of shout outs. Of course, our favorite Falcons fan, Carrie.
What's up, Carrie?
What's up?
How you doing?
Got a couple of guys in here. Our boys, is that Sarah Barris Entertainment? Either way, I'm pretty sure that he subscribes. So what's good, brother?
Mm-hmm. Looked like maybe a Longhorn fan. Who knows?
Looked like it.
Wallace.
Gotta love it.
What's going on, Wallace?
What's up, Wallace?
What up, Wallace?
And a couple of things to talk about here. I like this as we start to get into the wide receivers. That'll be fun to talk about.
Hey, shout it out, Matthew.
That's going to be insane. Wallace says they're not going to get rid of CP, and he will play his contract out. We'll see.
There's about 4 million reasons why he might not.
4 million reasons.
Just to say that Huntley's on the outside looking in. That'd be crazy. That would suck, really.
It feels like it is.
That would suck.
That would suck, though, because he really...
job loss due to injury is the worst part about the NFL, man. Yeah. It really is. Like,
no, but it's a part of the business. It's a part of the business.
Yeah.
But all right. Now to go to the most puzzling part of this offensive skill position talk. The wide receiver position. Just to be quite frank with you guys, what the hell are we doing, bro?
Oh, boy. Let's take a deeper look. Let's why you
look.
Feel that way.
Let's really look at this, bro, because
It's looking a little rough out here.
Yeah.
So we see
You
Drake
just
London.
got Scotty Miller in the boys, man.
Oh my God.
Starting slot. I mean, the fact that it goes from Scotty Miller to immediately an undrafted free agent,
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
That's bad, bro.
So we have Drake, Mac, and Scott here.
These are all definitely making the roster too.
And then you immediately go to Jared Bernhardt, Kadero Hodge, and Penny Hart.
I will say Hodge showed us something
Hodge
last
did
year,
do
you
pretty
know?
nice.
You know?
He
He
did
was
do
nice.
pretty nice.
And then others.
Wide receiver 2 energy though.
Slade Bolden,
Slade
Oh,
Bolden.
hey.
Xavier
Roll
Malone. This
Tide.
was the fast guy. out
We
of
know
Houston,
Fleek.
or out
Roll
of
Tide,
Oklahoma
Slade Bolden.
Baptist.
Hey, Slade Bolden might make this. Like Slade Bolden
We know
might
Fleek.
be what y'all
Yes.
think Bernhardt is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh,
He might come in
okay.
here and
Those
really
are
do
Oh.
something.
Whoa,
great.
whoa,
I'm
strong
telling you.
words, my man. Those are
Oh
strong
my God.
words.
I gotta roll with my Tide brother, man. He gonna come
We
here.
got-
I feel that. I feel that, my
Hey.
boy. I feel that.
Thank
And
Yeah, we love to see it. All right. Let's get this monstrosity off the
So like from what I hear, Justin Marshall is good people's. Like he really could be a guy that could make this roster.
we're starting at Justin
I-
Marshall.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Drake. I'm not talking about Drake
Jesus.
London.
Yeah.
Mac Hollins is just going to run in breakers. That's all he does. That's what he does for a living. And
Hey, I'm
Scotty
telling
Miller's
you,
just going
bro.
to take the top off. You know what I mean? Like, do you really like? Does Jared Bernhardt move you?
I like how you're
as a-
talking about these are all household names. People know Scotty Miller. They know what he does. They know what he brings. Matt Collins,
on.
that's a household name.
Yeah.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
exactly what
he's
kind of game that
gas.
guy. These are nobodies, man. Look at yourself
If
in the
you-
mirror
if
right
you
now.
got-
These are wide receiver
Wait, Trey.
3s and 4s everywhere they've been.
Wait,
If
Yeah,
you
you
got
know it
Scotty
all.
Miller and he's a small white dude, he's either got gas or he's got good routes. He's got gas. That's all.
Yeah. Scotty's
You
playing
know,
the
gas,
Oz role.
no breaks.
Scotty's playing
Y'all
the
saw
Oz
him.
role. He'll be the inside
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So I mean, Scotty, like Mac Hollins is Mac Hollins, man. He just acts like he's a big bully.
Mac Hollins is Mac
It's just
Hollins. What?
he's just Mac Hollins. He's just a guy. He's not anybody really.
I will say
Like,
that's exactly how.
do you want me to talk about Mac Hollins? I could tell you about Mac
Collins
Hollins.
is an NFT.
Well,
Mac
yeah, tell me
Collins
about
isn't
Mac
real.
That's basically what he is. He's just a guy. Like he's
Really
probably holding the spot for Corey Davis right now. If we're being completely
you
honest.
know.
Like you know what I mean?
I hope
Like
so.
Mac
He
Hollins,
might be
they're
good.
just like he's insurance just in case I don't get my guy out of Jets. Which
hope
CP
I
for
mean,
Corey Davis. Who says no?
Whoa.
I would do that. I would do
Sign
that.
me up. Like,
I would do
don't.
that. Yeah, I would do
I'm
that.
not gonna
I would.
I don't.
I would do that.
Dansky trying to get us canceled already. God.
Oh yeah,
All
we're
right.
done for. We've already lost like three viewers on that one alone.
People tuned in
my
and they're
God.
like, "Excuse me."
Like,
You guys talking about
But
Justin
no.
Marshall already. This is
no,
crazy.
seriously, I was gonna bring up Justin Marshall. I was, and that's
Yeah.
sad because I mean he's just a guy who's on the roster that has the measurables, and I just saw like a couple of plays that he made. Looks
Well,
like
both of you
can he
had
be
the same
consistent?
idea, so I mean, there's got to be some good intuition there.
I mean, that's just the one undrafted free agent that I saw. That like the one guy that I don't know who this guy is or what this guy is yet. Like we know what Mac Hollins is.
Yeah.
We know what Scotty Miller. We don't know
Slade
what
Bolden.
Justin Marshall is. Slade Bolden can really like take his game to the next level. We just got to see. You know what I'm saying? We just got to see. But everybody else, we know who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Marshall has his chance to stamp his name on wide receiver too. Which if he comes in and shows out
What?
he's not gonna get playing time over Matt Hollins.
Hey man,
If-
Nate Landman made this roster last year. Anything is possible. All right.
Bro,
Listen,
I'm telling you.
that's crazy, Fleek. I was talking about being a backup to Drake London. I wasn't talking about no receiver too. I'm talking about being in like receiver 4 or 5.
I shoot for
You're
the
crazy.
sky for my
I like you,
guys.
but you're
I
crazy.
shoot for the skies, man.
All right. I think to be said though is that there's just a lot of guys. There's Drake London, Scotty Miller, and then the guys. I'm just gonna
It's a
keep throwing Scotty Miller in there. That's
Yeah.
that's
Yes,
all.
you
scrub
keep-
fight at that, like from
Yeah.
like 4 to 5 to 4 to 6. I don't know if they carry 6 or 5 this year. We'll see. That's a
Probably
dog
5.
fight in that
It-
range
yeah.
there. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I would say this. Do you think they carry less receivers this year because they like their tight ends?
I don't know.
They're
That's what I
definitely
asked
keeping.
myself last year.
Yeah,
We did
I
have
think
that conversation last year.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna play around with like 4 tight ends.
Well, then I was like,
As
what
they
if they
should.
keep? What if they don't get rid of CP? And what if they keep like 5 running backs and do something crazy like that? And like,
So
drop
then
the
they will
receiver
go
numbers
low
that
on
way?
receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it could
Yeah.
be either
Yeah.
way. I don't know.
So
I mean,
here,
what would CP like step up into one of those receiver roles?
I
or
think
something?
I
could.
think Bijan does it before CP would do it.
He
Honestly,
could. He could.
that's what Matthew
that's
was
not
going
Right,
for
Matthew.
there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Maybe.
here's something that number one, you guys have completely just named a whole bunch of NPCs at the wide receiver position, and I want to make sure that you guys realize that.
Not
Number
Scotty
two-
Miller. Scotty Miller's not included.
Not Scotty Miller.
Yeah.
I
Scotty
apologize.
Swaggy Miller.
Dembski.
Swaggy Miller.
we don't have to have household names, Wallace, but we need like a name.
Yeah.
Like here's my thing. I'm very scared that Arthur Smith is, how most teams, that value the passing game kind of makeshift their running back room.
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of doing that with the wide receiver room right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I feel you.
And I really don't know if that's the way that this is going to work. You know what I'm saying? Not with a quarterback that is has a lot of questions. So, I think the best thing that we possibly can do, I mean, dude, we have comments like this coming in right now.
Yeah, man.
Like,
Like,
hey,
see, these
hey.
are like cool things to say when you're like
Yeah.
rebuilding
In May.
and
You
stuff.
can say that in May.
I was gonna say I
But,
can say what I want on May 15th.
Now that we're trying to win games, I need more than a gym rat. I need
I
I need
would
a
say this.
boxer. I need like something like
Listen.
like I need.
Yeah, damn.
Can we all agree that this is probably the end of Frank Darby this year?
Unfortunately.
I thought it was last year, so let's.
I thought it was too.
let's-
And being funny can only take you so far. Our guy Hunter's been doing it for years now. We got to let him off soon. So
That
I'm
is-
just
Hunter, oh man, that's dirty.
Wow.
That's
Hey.
dirty. You just compared that man to somebody that like
He's not
oh,
even here
man.
to defend
Yeah.
himself. That's what's
I had to throw a shot at Hunter. No, but
Blow.
I think Jared Bernhardt's going to take his spot as like the fan favorite now. Bernie's got a good little following, and I think he's going to take that spot.
Something
apparently.
about him I
mean,
can't
but-
quite put my finger on.
in
The
all
fans know.
seriousness, though, we all know what the receiving options are. I mean, it goes Pitts, Drake, Jonnu, Scotty, I guess, or Mac.
Scott,
So that
did
should
you
be
do
your top-
reverse
Hold on.
order there? Scotty
Well, we won't
Miller's.
talk- Oh yeah.
Scotty
Wait, who
Miller's
is
up
You threw me
there.
Scotty
off
Miller
with, you
right
threw me off with Jonnu. That one you threw me off.
I wasn't
there.
ready
Not
for
gonna lie.
Jonnu yet.
I was not ready for
Is he
Jonnu.
not-
No, Johnny's got to be in there. Johnny's
gonna be
probably fourth.
Third option?
I wouldn't be surprised,
Jonnu
man. You
or
see
Mac
how they
Hollins?
like him.
With Bijan there?
Matt
Bijan,
Bijan,
he's the third option?
Bijan. Okay, sorry.
I mean, you
forgot
look
about
at it-
Bijan for a second.
If tight end
Yeah,
two
you
is
look-
the third option, I am like
But if
I don't know.
Bijan
We'll
wasn't
see.
here,
Would you be surprised though, Trey? Would you be surprised?
shouldn't
yeah.
he?
You know what? Because I'm like, if Jonnu Smith goes off, it's because he's for some reason going to take all of Pitts' touches, and it's going to be something annoying like that. That's going to annoy. Like he's going to be like the tight end vulture and steal all. of
Don't
Pitts'
be
touchdowns or
shocked.
something, like,
Don't be shocked this year if Johnny out touchdowns Kyle Pitts.
I'm not.
I
okay.
won't be shocked. I'll let you know
Oh,
that
I'm
right now.
so
I won't
angry
be
at you
shocked.
because it's probably going to be like 4 touchdowns to 3 touchdowns. That's what makes me like the most mad about that statement. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be like, oh, Jonnu had 10 and Pitts had 9. No, it's going to be they had
Yeah.
7 total.
Yeah.
7 total. Bruh.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I just know how much he loved them in the red zone in Tennessee, and I could just be like, once we get
He's
inside the
running
20, it's
there.
like, who's Kyle Pitts? Who's that unicorn? I don't care. Where's Johnny? Get him on the field. Like, you know what I mean?
I think being an Atlanta fantasy football owner, if you have one of our players this year, is going to be awful because you get to the red zone and you're just like, oh shit, who's it gonna be? Are they gonna finally give it to Kyle Pitt, or is it CP? Is he gonna steal Bijan's touchdown, or is Bijan gonna steal Algier? Like, I mean, you just don't know.
I got it, Bernhardt.
Oh my god,
Bernie over the top. They never thought about Bernie over the
My
top.
God, that's Scotty Miller's music.
could you imagine, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is that Bolden?
I mean, I think we could all Bolden. I think we could all agree it's Drake, Mac, and Scotty as the three guys that are probably going to line up on the first Sunday, and then it's going to be just a dogfight for the next group.
So this position group's just been making us laugh the whole time, and I just
Because
feel like that's
it's not a real
like,
position group. It's not real.
Wide
It's
receiver
not real.
2, that's a 2024 thing. I think we'll get a really cool one in the draft.
We are going to get a really
I
cool
hope so.
There's
I
a lot
agree
of
with
options. There's a lot of options. So
We are going to
For
get a
what,
really cool
sorry?
one.
a wide receiver 2 next year. We'll probably get a nicely invested one
Mecca?
coming in from the
Can
draft.
I pitch you guys a Mecca Ibuka?
Go ahead
I'll
and start
take
throwing out names,
I'll
boss
take
man.
anybody from Ohio.
Hold
State.
on.
Yeah, seriously.
Start throwing out names. Damn,
I'll take
it's about
Brian
that
Hartline.
season.
I think he might have some left in him. I think he could do it. Like,
Yeah. No, but I would love to get. I think Emeka would be the ultimate Z here. He's the guy that can take off top and do all the fun stuff. But yeah, I think the receiver room's kind of like. I think they're like what I was talking about. Like if we need to add a body to one of these rooms, I do think the receiver room is the room that we could stand to either like trade for a guy or look for Corey Davis in a couple weeks when he potentially gets cut. Like I could imagine us throwing money that way, just to get more confidence in the room, right? Because you have a guy that's more familiar with the scheme. He's played with Jonnu, who can work off of Jonnu. And then it helps obviously Drake out because he's got a little bit of gas in him too. Corey, he's a fast guy, so he can help out with over the top stuff. So I think adding a guy like Corey Davis, or even I don't even know who else is in free agency, but if there was a trade to be made, just for another Z, just for an option as a Z receiver, somebody that can give you some gas, that would probably be helpful for us.
yeah, I think Corey is probably the best option in terms of like price, familiarity, scheme fit, everything. That would be awesome if they can, if he gets let go from the Jets, or if they can work something out. Super ideal.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Outside of Corey Davis, I'm not sure if any of these names.
It's not too many
really.
options.
No, there's not.
It was a
very
weak.
many
It was a
good
weak
options.
free agent class this year, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you want Julio back or Kenny Golladay, I mean, that's about it.
Julio
Did you
lost
say
all of his
Julio?
powers when he put that 6 on, man.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
hideous.
Absolutely hideous.
Hideous.
It was gonna be 85 at first, so
Yeah.
that changed.
Yeah, man, I know. I'm just like, dog.
That was
I'm like, if
bad.
you have to work that hard for your number, it's not a good sign. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah. We'll see, Wallace. We will see.
I don't know. He's got a post June 1st. Got a little bit of savings they can get out of that.
So
Always be
it
a
just
trade too.
makes sense for him.
I need
But all right, folks, we got one more offensive skill position to talk about. The one that's most important to Arthur Smith, obviously, because I mean he picked it. He picked one of these at fourth overall. The tight end position.
absolutely
Another full room.
full house.
Full
It's
house.
beautiful.
We got our guy Kyle Pitts. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Is that
Jonnu
the first
Smith
name that
is
stuck
2.
out to you? My eyes went straight to Frank's.
It's not good.
Oh
It's
my
not
God,
good,
let's
Fleek.
not do
Tight
that.
end 4.
That's not good, Fleek. We got to talk about that later. It's got Parker Hesse, Felipe Franks, John Fitzpatrick, and of course Tucker Fisk.
Yo, you laugh,
Mhm.
but Parker Hesse's like a serious part of this team. Like an actual
As a
good,
blocker?
like he's
We
a
all
really
know
good
that.
player.
He's
Yeah,
a really
yeah,
good
yeah.
player.
We should have just done locked him up last year. I'm not ready. He's gonna come in and just Patrick DeMarco everybody and just knock everybody on their butts. And we're gonna have to pay him like a fullback and have 2 fullbacks being paid on this roster.
with
Yeah,
another fullback already on the roster. Which let's talk about fullbacks in this group too.
definitely.
should-
That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
no, that would definitely be it. So that would be Keith Smith,
Clint Ratkovich.
How do you pronounce his last name?
Ratchovich,
Ratchet.
Ratchovich,
Clint Ratchovich, and who else? I think there was one
Keith
more.
Smith,
No,
and they're the only two listed right
that's
now.
right. John Rain got cut today.
He just
Yeah,
did.
John
That's
Rain
right.
did
Oh
get cut.
yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
So yeah,
but
Yep.
I think Clint's like an intriguing player because if he can show that he can be a special teams guy, he's kind of like Kyle Juszczyk from the San Fran. Like he's kind of like gives you another weapon out of the backfield. Not that we need another one, but I mean it just gives you a different element. I know I think he's underrated as a blocker too, but Keith Smith's still productive as a fullback and a special teamer. I know Trey will love that.
I was about to
Um,
say.
yeah, so he's actually really good at special teams too. I remember we're not too far gone where he like forced 3 fumbles in the season on special teams. So I mean, he's going to be a guy that's still looked upon um, as a piece along with Parker Hesse to keep this run game getting going because those two were really, really, really good in the run game there.
Yeah, I've been looking for somebody to knock Keith off this roster for like the past 2 seasons, and nobody can do it. And he's good at what he does, and it'll be interesting seeing if Radovich can. I know his knees are like shredded lettuce. I know he had like a really bad injury, so I don't know if he's recovered from that, and he has like the speed and explosiveness he showed on his college film. If he does, like Adam said, that'd be great. He could be really versatile. So it'd be interesting to see what that room comes down to, or if maybe they're like, we like Hesse enough and some of these other guys that we're done with a fullback, but Arthur Smith without a fullback just doesn't sound right.
not at all. Not at all. Nah. I do want to talk to you guys about number one, the Felipe Franks fiasco.
Cut him.
That's right.
What,
it is a fiasco at this point.
What? First of all, what are we doing here?
Cutting them.
Secondly, so what about this John Fitzpatrick guy? What are we doing with him?
He's like profiled like Lee Smith, right? 6'7",
It's almost perfect. Yeah.
giant, whatever. Feels like maybe Art hopes that he can turn into that. I don't know if that. We don't know. Last year he was pretty much hurt, and they redshirted him basically.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
to your question about Franks, it just feels like at this point a bad investment, a stock that's just tanking, and you just keep throwing money into it, and you forget that like you bought the stock for nothing, that like you literally paid
Mhm.
nothing for it. It was an undrafted free agent. It just came in one
Exactly.
day, and like you need to, I think, know when it's time to move on. And when you have enough projects already, like
Get
you
your
have a
money out.
Bijan and you've got a bunch of other things going on, I don't think you need to be putting resources towards a player like Franks, who a lot of people think he was a big contributor to special teams. He played 20% of special team snaps. He is not.
20%.
He's not a big special teams contributor. He played like 4 snaps on the offensive side of the football last year. He's basically a DNP every week. So it's not this big loss. I know people seem to think that he's like this big special teams contributor. He's not. He's very replaceable. And we'll see what happens if Fitzpatrick can knock him off or if they get rid of both of them. Who knows?
Yeah.
I would have liked to experience the Felipe Franks experience than last year. It's ridiculous. Like if you're gonna cut John Fitzpatrick and John Fitzpatrick can actually be a good blocking tight end, like to me that makes no sense. Like you know what I mean? I just think we just need to cut bait there. Like the fact that Franks is on this roster and Nicole Pruitt's not on this roster
Yeah.
grinds my gears
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
Because Pruitt was a good player who has history with Arthur and who
Beautiful.
filled in good last year. To me, it just doesn't make sense.
It's supposed to be about
I don't know
earning your
why.
spot here too. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
dude came in off the street and was able to
Yeah.
score more touchdowns in a season than Kyle Pitts has yet. So it's like,
Yes.
Was unnecessary.
And just be a good player. He's a bully as a blocker too. Like
yeah.
it's crazy.
We appreciate
So
that, Trey.
Was
Definitely
that
needed that fun
I
fact.
was a unicorn.
He was. Pruitt was doing his thing. Him and Ritter got a connection too. Hey, I'm just saying.
And also the most important part, because we have not put the peach on it yet. in this entire offseason.
Ah,
Can't. We've already got enough coming from UGA fans.
that's right. He's a dog.
One more thing before we get up out of here. I want to talk to you guys about the Jonnu Kyle Pitts target share, I'll say. Should we be concerned with Jonnu Smith coming in versus the amount of touches that Pitts should be getting in this offense?
I'm not, but you're making me concerned.
It's just a question. It's just a question.
I'm not trying to be low on Jonnu Smith, but I'll just say what Jonnu Smith is, and Jonnu Smith is on his third team in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Players, when they get to their third team, are not the players they were with their first team or their second team. I think he still has juice. I think he's going to be great for this team. I think he's ideal tied into. I don't think that man's going to be taking a ton of touches. I think he's going to be used like a Swiss Army knife, very strategically, and enough to where he's a threat, but not to where he's threatening other players' touches.
Awesome. Okay.
I think in the sense, and Nate Tice touched on this, like Jonnu Smith's probably going to play more inline and be a good blocker, and then that'll probably what our receivers will look like. Kyle Pitts and Drake London on the outside, Jonnu Smith on the inside. So whatever, if you deem that as a detriment to Kyle, sure. If you deem that as an asset, okay. I think it'll be an asset because Kyle will get his free ups on safeties, linebackers, whoever outside, and then Jonnu will have just as equally as good of a matchup inside. So it just kind of makes you kind of think another thought while defending the Falcons offense, because I think maybe they use a mesh of what they did in 21 when with Ryan and Kyle, and then bring in like a guy like Jonnu and put him in line and use him that way, because that's kind of what they did with Lee Smith when he was tight end too. They kept him in line, he blocked. He went out on leaks, and he actually had a productive season in his final year in the NFL. So I think you're probably going to get that to a heightened extent. The better thing now, the trigger man at quarterback is not Matt, and his arm's not dead, so he can hit those seam balls. He can hit the outside fades. He can do that fun stuff with Kyle to a better clip. So I think John was going to help him. I don't know how productive John will be. I think he'll be a touchdown guy. I don't think he'll be a yards guy. I think Kyle will end up being the yards guy, and John will end up being the touchdown guy, and we'll see it that way. But I think they're going to complement each other well. And if Kyle can show that he can live on the outside, and in the slot with Drake and then Bijan, and then Jonnu in line to help block and then chip and get out in the flats and kind of make something happen, I think that's a world that I would like to live in. I think that helps him a lot.
Yeah, I agree with everything Adam just said, because that's what I was saying earlier when I mistakenly forgot Bijan, but was saying Pitts, Drake, Jonnu. In my mind, that's how I was lining it up: Pitts and Drake on the outside, and Jonnu in line. Like that's how I could see. I could see us running a lot of looks like that. But I don't think he'll lean too heavily on Kyle Pitts' numbers at all. I can see us using him very well in the red zone. I can see him converting first downs when we need it. I can see him getting a few gimmicky plays. Like I can see him doing like a tight end jet sweep or something crazy. I can see like little here and there being important to the game and making plays when we need it. But I don't think he's going to be close to a number one or number two. If that makes sense.
I got you. That makes perfect sense.
I just read that comment. I love that.
Yeah, that is absolutely insane, man. But I also agree. Like it's the first time that we've had this much optimism in a while, and I think a lot of it is because, quite frankly, we looked over the skills positions today, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think it matters where these guys line up because, as Terry said, this looked like we're playing positionless football. Because and I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that real quick. How positionless do you think we're actually going to look? And I'll let that be our last thing because we got to get up out of here. We're already over an hour. Let's start with Treyway. When you hear positionless football in this offense, what do you think of?
Yeah, I think I think it just means getting your best players in the best position to succeed.
Mm.
So whether that means flanking Bijan out for, a quick, rocket screen or something like that, whether it means using Pitts outside, inside, whether it means, dual running back set, however, however you want to slice it, I think ultimately it comes down to how do we get the ball in X players' hands the best way that we can. And we have the players to do that. And I think we have, really meticulously built this team so that they have the ability to kind of integrate and do some more innovative things around their run sets. I think you'll be able to see some, last year we talked about how, we'd have some 2-man route concepts or 3-man route concepts, but we didn't have the guys who can get open. If Pitts is healthy and you have him out there and you have London out there and then you have Jonnu playing that tight end role and you have Bijan and Algier both in the backfield at that same time, hey, that 3-man route concept looks a little bit more, threatening at that point compared to what it was last year when you had Oz and the gang, trying to make that work. So I think positionless football just, means let Art cook and get the ball to the best players when we can.
Fleek, what you got for us when you hear positionless football in this offense?
Creating mismatches. You got Bijan, who might be able to run routes better than most of your receivers. You got Kyle Pitts, who may be able to play the X position better than any receiver on the team. But you have these guys who are penciled in as a running back and a tight end. But you have a chess piece that you can move everywhere and do different things. You can use them for misdirection, for motion, anything. And the one thing about the thing Arthur Smith always says that I do agree with, I hate the whole we're not playing fantasy football thing, but the guys do have an impact on the game that doesn't always necessarily impact the box score or impact the stat sheet. And the impact of having playmakers and positionless players all around the field, you don't know what it looks like when Bijan motions out of the backfield and hits the sideline. And now he's outside and your middle linebacker is covering Bijan on the sideline. You don't want that, but you don't know what to do. So, that allows you to have concepts and schemes that keep defensive coordinators up and planning for more than one guy on your offense. And when they have to worry about multiple players, then that's when you get favorable matchups.
Love it. I'm not going to lie to you, Fleek. I heard you say that Bijan runs routes better than most wide receivers on our team. I heard that. I want to make sure that everybody else heard it. Damski, what do you hear when you hear positionless football with this offense?
I think it's getting Felipe Franks in space and letting him cook.
I knew better.
No, I'm just joking. No. Yeah, I think it's just the ability to create your own matchups like where you want, right? Like you have guys that can play multiple spots, John Smith in the backfield, Bijan in the X receiver and the Z receiver in the slot, have Kyle in the slot, John in the slot. Like just ability to put guys wherever and them having and being able to win those little one-on-one matchups in the slot or wherever it may be. I think when you have a bunch of guys that can kind of give you the Deebo Samuel effect from multiple spots, where it's just like even on a simple mesh concept where it's a drag across the field, a lot of these guys can create yak on their own. So I mean, just getting them in the space with a little bit of leeway to get going downhill, like it creates a lot of problems, and it's really fun to see. And then you compound that with a run game that is hard to deal with for 4 quarters. And I think it's fun because it's very QB friendly, I would say. Like Ritter's not here having to make full field reads. He reads probably one or two guys and he gets it to the one or two guy. Or if not, hey, Bijan's in the flat. Hey, Johnny's in the flat. It's really simple concept. And when you have guys that can win at multiple spots, then it just creates matchup nightmares for guys that's trying to like schematically deal with that, right? So yeah, I think with the positional football, positionless football, it's just the ability to create a bunch of matchups that give you favorable matchups from week to week.
Gotta love it. Hey, feel like this is a good way to end up out of here. This is a perfect. What is it? Perfect way to describe the Felipe Franks experiment. Thank you for that. Out of your Falcon mind. Thank you to everybody that actually showed up and listened. Carrie, Wallace, everybody that showed up. Matthew, You guys, JR, pound for
Yeah.
pound, Justin, you guys were amazing, bro. Like,
Shout
I
out
appreciate
y'all,
you. Bubba Gump was in here, man, and everybody in here, man. I appreciate you. Our new subscriber, JBM93, good looking out.
Hey.
We
Shout out you, my
appreciate.
guy.
But yeah, last words on the offensive skills positions for Damsky. Anything that you want to end off with?
No, man, I think this is the most excited I've been. Like I said it when we drafted Bijan. This is the most excited I've been for just our offense in general. And it's crazy. 2 years ago, we're sitting there with like one of the oldest teams with older weapons, locked into bad contracts. Now we're one of the youngest teams, no real commitment to any really big dogs, and we have a bunch of favorable rookies, like or sorry, younger players. So it's just a fun time right now to be a Falcons fan, I think, and I think just hopefully we can enjoy our young, good athletic pieces.
Treyway,
Oh
what
man,
you
this
got
is
for? Oh my God, Fleet, go ahead, bro.
sorry,
Go,
sorry.
go, go. You got it.
No, it's just I'm overwhelmed with excitement, man. This is crazy. I hear everybody around me speaking so positive right now. It can almost bring a tear to my eye, man. It's beautiful, you know. We've been through some dark off seasons.
It's been tough.
It's been tough, man.
It's been
I'm
rough.
just excited, man. This has the potential to be fun. I just hope art allows it to be fun. That's it. That's it. Art and Ritter, allow this to be fun for everybody, right? And then we make the playoffs and have fun.
Treyway, what you got for us, man?
Yeah, well, Fleek, we're either in the eye of the storm or we're at the rim. So let's hope we're at the rim. I think this is the first time Falcons fans can look and say, we have an elite position group and it's running back. You have an elite position group. That's awesome. Like to be able to, it's stamped. It doesn't like, and we haven't even hit preseason yet, but we probably have the best running back room in the entire NFL. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
I know wide receiver 2 is a little bit of a concern. We've got $62 to $67 million next year and a whole nother draft. We just got to hang on for this season. Just hang on for this season. That wide receiver 2 is coming. More players are coming. This is hopefully the beginning of a foundation that is able to stick around for a while. And like Adam said, that we're able to just enjoy. It would be nice to be able to enjoy football this year. Watch a young team that just shows promise, that wins some games, that upset some other people's seasons, and you know that would just be nice to take that step forward. So you know, I think we're in a good spot with this skill group to do it in this division.
Yeah.
Just when Carey said that you weren't, that. Oh my gosh.
Look,
He completely went left. He completely went left. You want to know why? It's because everybody else it's dark where everybody else is, and then it's light outside for him. That's what it is. As long as he can see the light at the end of the tunnel, I think that's all that matters. Hey, thanks everybody for coming in. Thanks everybody for watching. We are out. This has been the New Millennium Falcons podcast.